If it's brown, it's down. If it flies, it dies. If you're gonna hunt, you gotta do it right. Shotgun or rifle, be ready to go. Camo and ammo, that's my motto.
Welcome to Bow Hunter Unleashed. So today we're going to talk about some shooting tips, some things that I like to recommend to new shooters, people I train and work with. And this applies across the board whether you're competition shooting or you're bow hunting. Although mostly we cater to the bow hunter. When we talk about this stuff and the way a bow is set up is more for bow hunting, less for competition. So that's what we're going to focus on today is the bow hunting tips for the guys who want to go get in the stand and get that early season hunt in. So the biggest question I get a lot of times is, how do you shoot so well, or what do you do to perfect your shooting? Let's just first say practice, but there's a lot that goes into it before practice. So the first thing is the selection of your bow. Now, it's not about the brand. I don't care what anybody tells you, it's never about the brand. It's about the fit. So the first technique is finding a bow that fits you and that you're comfortable with. And when I say that, that means you has to feel natural. When you draw this bow, when you do anything with it, when you just hold it up, it's got to feel natural and it's got to feel comfortable. And natural means it needs to be an extension of the arm. It needs to feel good in your hand. Don't worry about the color. Don't worry about the brand. Don't worry about how fast it is. Worry about getting a bow that fits you and that is comfortable for you to hold and you to handle. If you got that, you're on your way to being a good bow hunter and shooting excellent shots and getting those one-shot kills that we're all after when we bow hunt. So how do you do that? That's a whole other segment that we're going to go into in the future about selecting a bow, where we take out all these things that the advertisers try to tell you and the bow shops try to tell you, and we're going to try and get the right bow in your hands for you, or get you to understand how to go in and buy that bow that will fit you. So once you've got your bow selected and you've got the right draw weight, you've got the right draw length, and you've got that bow that's comfortable to you, you're going to want to start shooting your bow and you're going to want to start practicing. Now, there are a lot of different ways and a lot of different philosophies across the board depending on where you shoot at, how you do that. I recommend that you get a bow and you get up close to your target. And we'll do some video and showing that with some practice arrows, how that's done. And that is how you're going to get comfortable with your bow. There's no sense in getting a bow and going out trying to shoot 20, 30, and 40 yards when you haven't mastered the technique. Now, shooting a bow is 100% about technique. It is not about natural ability. It is about being able to perform that technique and that shot and that rhythm time after time after time over and over again. All right, so if you can't hit the target over and over again at 10 yards, you're not going to hit the target over and over again at your bullseye at 20 yards or 30 yards or 40 yards. So you're going to start up close and you're going to move back. So the first thing you want to check for is your proper draw weight. So in drawing a bow, you should not have to do this. If you got to draw from here to get your bow back and then come down, you're pulling too much weight. So you go to the bow shop and you want a 70-pound bow and they sell you a 70-pound bow and you go and put it on 70 pounds and you haven't shot one, you don't need to start at 70 pounds. Get down to 60 pounds probably. You may even need to start lower than that and work your way up. Now, we can get into and we'll get into exercise routines and things that really help with this draw technique and drawing a bow, all right? So, drawing a bow should look a little more like this. So that you draw it straight back. That's at 70 pounds. That is comfortable. I can hunt like this and I can make my shot. All right. Now, as you'll hear that, I picked up a vibration in my sight since coming back from Africa. So I've got to get in and figure out which screw that is. I just heard that this morning. Being able to draw and shoot comfortable is going to help you be that proficient shooter. If you can't shoot that way, you can't get that draw back and that draw be comfortable and the right weight, you're going to have problems shooting. So don't shoot too much weight. The next thing is, of course, the right draw length. So as you saw when I draw back, It fits me comfortably. I'm comfortable with my bow. I can get my anchor point. And so anchor point is something you'll also have to choose when you start shooting. So let's talk about anchor points for a minute. Now there are different types of releases that you can shoot. You can shoot a wrist strap, you can shoot the finger release, and as you can see, that's what I shoot. Now, a lot of people in the hunting world don't think you can hunt with these, but you can. This particular release I've had since 2006, so that's 12 years, and I've been on 3 different continents with it, and I haven't lost it yet. So the theory that you're going to lose your release, well, that's not true. You just need a handy dandy place that you can always know where it's at. Whether it's in a vest pocket like this, now most of these vests are for like duck calls, but that's where I put my release. Or whether it's in your backpack, your fanny pack, or wherever it is you have that you put it. Some people just put it in their pocket with a thumb release out and it stays. But this is just a release I shoot because I shoot better with it, I shoot more consistent with it, and it's always on the knock point. And so when you choose that release, but it has to be comfortable for you. So I can shoot a wrist strap release, but they have their drawbacks. And when we go and we do an episode on releases, we'll talk about the drawbacks to each release, and you just have to find your way into it. So choose your release is the next thing. You've got your bow, you've got the draw weight right, but you got to have the right release. So get that release that feels good for you. So try out different releases when you're at your bow shop. Don't always just go buy what the guy behind the counter tells you. Just because you're at a bow shop doesn't mean you're at a pro shop, and just because you're at a pro shop doesn't mean they're a pro. Try different equipment. Don't always just choose what the guy behind the counter tells you need to be shooting. All right, we need to remember, they're there to sell products. You're there to buy a product that fits you and is most comfortable for you. When you do that, you'll be happy. You'll be a happy bow hunter. You'll be a successful bow hunter. So we're going to move out of the release, and let's just talk about stance a little bit. And when you talk about stance for shooting a bow is just like shooting a gun. You've got to have that proper stance. It's got to be comfortable for you. Some people's stances are a little different than others, but you can watch over and over and watch shooters, and you'll see the way they stand. You want their feet spread. You're going to have that nice spread to your feet. You're going to get, it's about shoulder width. You're shooting across your body like this. So if you're right-handed, this is the way it's going to look. If you're left-handed, it's going to be more like this right here, but you're going to be across your body. All right. All right, so let's just talk about our feet placement real quick. So your feet placement is going to be a little bit like this right here. It's just about shoulder width so that you're squared up to the target. That way when you come up and you draw, you're in that comfortable spot and everything takes place and it looks nice and uniform. You shouldn't be rocked back on one foot. You shouldn't be leaning forward like a lot of people do when they start shooting. A lot of people have a tendency to lean forward on their left foot. Just get that comfortable stance. Get relaxed like this, and you're good to go. So that's kind of what your stance looks like. Like I said, it's just your feet spread about shoulder width. It is not out here. It is right here. All right? You're squared up. You got a good solid foundation. So we're going to go out of the stance, and we're going to talk about pulling your bow a little bit here, which is just drawing your bow. You're just going to draw that bow. You're going to get up. You're going to draw your bow, and you're going to come back, and you're going to find your knot point. And my knot point is right here. All right, every time with my finger release. That way I know right where I'm at when I come back to my draw cycle and I'm in. That's consistency. That's going to give me the consistency that I need to shoot the same shot over and over. You want to know how people Robin Hood arrows? That's how you Robin Hood an arrow. You've got to have the mechanics over and over, and it comes with practice. And it really comes with you getting in private and practicing on your own at home, or finding the shop when it's quiet, maybe early when it first opens or just before it closes, and getting in and finding some quiet time to just practice where there's no distractions. Now, when I say no distractions, you don't need your buddy in your ear telling you what to do. You need to be in there, just you, the target, or just a couple of other people who are doing their own thing, and you focus on what you're doing. Now, we will go into some up-close shooting tips, like I said earlier, with a target. I'll show you what I do, what I train all my shooters to do. Because here's the thing. You can learn so much from your bow if you can just listen. And that's why I say quiet. You get up close to your target, you can listen to your release, you can listen to how your bow sounds, and over time you will learn to tell if you've torqued your bow, if you've slammed the trigger or bumped the trigger, or if you just pull it instead of releasing it correctly, you will learn to tell that yourself, and you'll learn to be able to correct your own mistakes.
If it's brown, it's down. If it flies, it dies. If you're gonna hunt, you gotta do it right. Shotgun or rifle, you ready to go?